Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anne of Reinforcement Club, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today, we are going to talk about the art of showing up for yourself. This is one of the best thing I've ever learned in life. Showing up for yourself means making your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional needs your number one priority. That sometimes you let other people down for choosing your peace because you know exactly what's right for you, which is worth your time. Before, when I was younger, teenager to early 20s, I used to be a people pleaser. I prioritize other people's need. I want to make them happy. I disregard my own needs because I want to feel like I belong to the quote unquote cool group. And what is a cool group for me? What are my criteria for a cool group? Now, I'm not sure if this will ever surprise you, but my cool group are those people who can manage to graduate to pass the test, when I was in college, even though they could be rarely going to the class. They're kind of quote unquote smart. I also find people as quote unquote cool when they drink and smoke. When they play sports or even musical instruments. I also find those people who have loads of good connections in the school admin, who have a couple of friends who are teacher as cool, because I know maybe that network could back them up for them to pass the exam. Well, I've never thought about people who's going to the gym as cool. I know those were not my cool stuff before when I was younger. Another cool thing for me before when I was younger is that going to the party after work. Drinking after work, maybe at least 3 times a week. 2 times a week is satisfactory. That's my quote unquote cooler criteria. But I try to catch up with these people. I became one of them. Gladly, they're not the worst people. They're actually good friends of mine. We had a good bond and it worked out for years and years, even up to this point. That somehow we realized that, we can't be the same person when we were younger. But there's only few of them who's left with me. My circle of friends right now is getting smaller. So, by the way, going back to the cool thing for me as a people pleaser when I used to disregard my own needs and not showing up for myself is that when every time I disregard the voice inside my head to take some rest, to study, to make memories with my parents, with my cousins, rather than going with my friends, I try to not listen to those voices inside my head way back when I was younger. So, when I hang out with my quote unquote cool friends before, it was actually fun, but not all the time fun. Sometimes I felt empty, questioning my choices, because I wasn't happy with how I spent my time before. I wasn't intentional about how I spend my time because I just want to look good, quote unquote perfect, another quote unquote role model, which is kind of in question. It's just how I perceive myself, how I put up my self image. But the way other people doesn't really give a shit about it. Other people don't give a shit. Don't care. It's just me who think that way about myself, which is selfish, because I entertain others first to satisfy them, disregard my health, my sleep, my peace, my family over them. I want to be quote unquote cool. But the greatest turning point that happened to me was when I was nearly 30s, in my late 20s. I got frustrated, I was broke, I was impatient because my dreams didn't happen. I want to work abroad, I want to party there, I want to do what I want, but I was still stuck in the locals. I was still stuck in the Philippines way back that time. And there's a lot of things that I want to do with my life that I can't do. Because for some reason, my efforts, my little efforts didn't work out. Look, I don't have a good study habits, for me to be able to pass the English test as well as the exams abroad. I was entitled, I keep beating up myself due to lack of confidence. Although I feel like I'm entitled, that I deserve this, but I have no confidence. My effort was, not consistent, it wasn't enough, but I didn't realize that. So there's a lot of things in my head way back when I was younger that really made me feel like I want to leave myself alone. I want to, like, if I were a soul, I want to leave myself here. I want to go out of my body. I used to hate myself. And you know the way when you're broke, unhappy, and some of the relationships in your life didn't work out. So it's too bad. But I tried to show up as quote unquote cool, but I secretly hate the world. Angry. There was an angry monster inside me. It's just that the turning point that I was talking about was when maturity hit me. You know the way when you got enlightened in a bad way, in a hard way. You learn things in a hard way. I felt so disgusted about my situation. Being broke, being unhappy, frustrated, lack of confidence, and all that. And sometimes, I also felt like I'm not worthy because there actually came to the point that my dad couldn't trust me anymore about my decisions. Although he's actually a good supporter, but he couldn't understand me anymore. I couldn't even understand myself way back that time. But when maturity did hit me hard, like I finally learned to question, why am I here for? Question my purpose, question the economy in the Philippines, question the global economy, question my degree, was it worth it? Question my career. I questioned everything. And then finally came up with another question, which is, what should I do then? What must be done then? So the what must be done actually started when it could be my late 20s to up to this point, that I am doing the best of my ability every day to make it up to myself. Now what did I do when I finally come up with solutions to my own problems? That after all, the hero that I was waiting for was just me. Nobody will ever gonna save me then. So what was the intervention? It all started with health, because I'm a nurse. So I started to challenge my weight, because I used to be overweight. I used to drink every week, almost maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I used to have to experience arthritis at times due to drinking and unhealthy diet. So I used to be overweight, and then I challenged myself to reduce my weight. And you know the way, you cannot reduce your weight if you're not consistent. So I got to be consistent. And it did happen up to this point that I have my own weight standards other than BMI, normal BMI. So I began to challenge myself, lose weight, which is I achieved after a couple of months. I started eating healthy, and then I also do my best to understand my body, and then I realized that I have lactose intolerance. But not that bad though. What are the food that can make me feel bloated? What are the food that is heavy for me, but I love to eat it, but I have to eat it at this time? So I'm trying to understand my body. And in terms of wealth, I did my best to manage my own finances, budget. I know where my money is going. I invest. I I did buy some stocks though. So I've started to feel like I have so much option now. And in terms of relationship, my circle of friends became smaller this time. But these are the good friends of mine who are worth my time. These are my true friends. These are the people who's rooting for me, and there's only a few of them, maybe one or two, three people. I don't need 10, I don't need 20, but if there are, why not then? But at the moment, maybe two or three. And I am also ready to walk away from from the people who's ambivalent, wherein I don't know if they're good for me. I don't know if they like me or not. I don't know if we could work out. Ambivalent and toxic people. So other than that, I'm always ready to walk away for my own peace as well as the peace of the other party. If the relationship wouldn't work out. And I also learned to stand up for myself. When as necessary, with all due respect, in a nice manner. Now, after finally learning about the art of showing up for yourself, all this time, I realized that I am responsible about everything that's happening in my life. I was terrible at stuff before because I feel like so entitled. I felt entitled to have that with the least amount of effort. I was terrible at making choices before, but not all. I was even happy that those mistakes that I did in the past did really hit me after all. Because without those mistakes, I wouldn't learn anything anyway. So I'm not saying that I am a perfect person this time. It's just that all I know that I cannot please everyone. I can only please myself. I can only control myself, my reaction, my thoughts, words, and my deeds. And I'm responsible for that. Showing up for yourself means, when shit happens, it starts from you. I mean, you can get back from the ground by knowing, by owning it, by owning the actions, the situations, and when things gets worse, it's just you. You can't really. Yeah, there are people who's willing enough to do everything for us, but the number one person we can count on that which I believe, not we, but I believe that I can count on 100% is just me. And if I don't show up for myself, if I don't love myself, if I don't take care of myself, if I don't prioritize myself, I couldn't show up for myself 100%. That's why I'm taking care of myself right now, this time. And when I mess up, I must be willing to own my own actions to really get my act together and get back to the track. Get back on the track towards my goal. Showing up to yourself is the number one chance that which I believe that anyone must know when you want to make a difference, when you want to do something really important in your life. Like you want to hit the goal, whatever goal is that you want to make, you want to change yourself, you want to change your habit. Every time you decide to do something permanently, it's just yourself. It's only yourself that you can count on. It means looking after yourself, guiding yourself, and putting yourself first. After all, it's just us. We are responsible for ourselves. We are our own hero. The hero that we've been waiting for throughout our life. It's just us. We are responsible for ourselves. Imagine if each one of us were able to understand that, we're able to get that, then, well, I'm not sure if the entitlement mentality could ever work. We could, there's a lot of magic that's going to happen if we really work on our dreams. If we take critics responsibly, if we don't get hurt that easily by some critics, or we pick ourselves up from getting hurt, from pain, and then just get back on the track and never give up. That also means showing up for yourself, showing up on your workout schedule. Discipline is a harsh word though, but discipline is also habit. Maintaining your healthy diet, although you give yourself a treat at times with a pizza. So showing up for yourself is a good start. I hope that I was able to share something good today for you. By the way, this is Anne of Reinforce Me Club, your fellow positive reinforcer. If you love this episode today, you can share it to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even in Amazon Music. Reinforce Me Club. I do appreciate your time. And have a lovely day ahead. Few more days to Christmas. Thank you for your time.